What is going on, everyone? My name's Boyd, and I'm back with another game of Mediterranean. I mean, what? Age of Mythology, the Titans action. Spawning in the bottom of the map in the blue color playing as Zeus. His name is Brickhead. In the top of the map in the red color playing as Loki. His name is SunTzu. Yes, the map is Mediterranean, and honestly, I feel like there's not going to be that many more Mediterraneans in this playoffs because I think I've seen one or two so far, so this has got to be the final one. The final one. We do have a little system going on, and if you watch the first game, you will know about it. So I implore you to go and check out that game. It was an incredible one. SunTzu managing to take out Brickhead in that as well, and with some really nice maneuvering with his army there. So game number 2, new life, new me. New me, new life. No, I said it right the first time. New life, new me, new game. Zeus versus Loki. We've seen SunTzu come so close so many times against Zeus players on this map with his Loki. We'll see if he's learned his lesson yet. The lesson to learn with Norse on Mediterranean against Zeus is you do not leave your docks. Do not, no matter how good it looks for you, do not leave your docks because you don't have a chance. You just don't. You're not going to be able to win unless you're in front on the longboats and you have good micro. You're not going to win. So you want to just defend for as long as possible and then hit that heroic age timing with her, sir, on the second gold mine. That seems to be the methodology for Loki to win against Zeus on this map. You build 2 docks, you sit under them, you hope that you get close fish to your shore like these ones here, and you just defend. Force the Zeus player to come to you under dock fire if he wants to get any sort of advantage. We'll see if SunTzu is going to be going for that tactic or not, and if Brickhead has got anything up his sleeve. I wouldn't be surprised if he does. He's actually gone 7 villages here on the wood. The 7 villager build order that Zeus players can do is generally speaking like a 5-minute advance time with something like 15 fishing ship. And on Mediterranean, it's not like a Midgard. There's really not that many fish to share. So you're going to be out here, and that's actually going to force SunTzu to move out, but he can just move out, pick off those fishing ships, and then retreat back when Brickhead starts to get going. The temple is coming up right now as well, so we'll see what he can do. And there's the temple coming up for SunTzu as well. He does need to advance fairly fast, getting that second ox cart out here to jump onto this location. A lot of these units here sharing this ox cart can be very bad, but what you should try if you're a seasoned Norse player and you're in these situations is try and dump resources before you get to the top amount of them. We do see that the food villagers have dumped all of their food and jumping onto the wood there, and he should be able to click up fairly soon. If we check out his food, the SunTzu is very close. He's just going to dump these fish in and advance a little bit late. Does get the dwarf out, but a little bit awkward of a build order there. But what I'd like to see people try is you dump resources in on one location, move over to the other, dump those in, and you actually gather faster than if you weren't to dump them, because the villagers, they all mine up to 9 resources, and then that final animation actually overgathers and they can't carry the rest of that food, wood, or gold. So dumping your resources early is technically more efficient and you get a little bit more resource. We're talking about, like, if we've got 10 villagers doing it, you're talking about 10 resources. But every resource matters, and you can share that with the ox cart. You do it on both of them. You dump the wood, then you dump the gold, and you keep moving back and forth in the early game, not having to build an early ox cart or anything like that. Definitely an idea, but maybe a little bit too crazy. Second dock coming up now for Brickhead. He's going to be going through Athena. There's no way you go Hermes here. You want to get that advantage on the water with Athena, taking as much damage as possible while dealing as much damage, and then without losing any ships, and then restoration to get the huge advantage there. All right, Forseti coming through, and he is starting to pump those longboats out. He has hit the classical age first, so he has a little bit of an advantage there. Brickhead with a 440, I think he must have screwed something up with his build order, because that should be a 430 there or a 445, so shorted 10 seconds of villager time there. Now the longboat's starting to stream out. There's only 8 fishing ship here as well for Brickhead, which is significantly less than I thought he would have. So that's fine. Now the longboats coming in, going to be hitting these fishing ships. We do see a bolt onto that longboat there. Trireme pushing, going to be retreated here. Well, not actually. We do see a fairly even fight at this point. When you are Norse, you do not want to do this dukage. You do more damage by just splitting your fire up and not doing retreat micro. I've talked about it. They've only got 5.5 speed. That's 0.5 speed less than the Trireme. They've also got 12 range. That's 2 range less. And they're compensated with the extra damage, which is 2 extra damage or 3 extra damage per shot. Is it 3 arrows they shoot? I think it's 3 arrows. So they get an extra 3 damage per shot. So you really don't want to be retreating any ships. And that's why, I mean, you got to be sitting back here and abusing that dock, because it means you don't have to retreat. It means your opponent has to move into your docks to fight you. But it's looking like SunTzu's getting a little bit of value here. Nice micro from Brickhead so far. Hasn't lost any ships, hasn't lost too much HP. A couple of very low HP boats here. We do see that healing spring is here. So SunTzu can just sit under this healing spring at this point. This is all he needs to do. He doesn't need to leave the side of that healing spring until he feels comfortable that he can win the fight. Remember, once you get to a critical mass of Norse longboats, they actually probably beat the Greek mass of longboats just because of the extra damage you do. The 3 extra damage DPS does start becoming a big deal. And Brickhead actually baiting SunTzu out here over and over again, still taking a lot of damage onto his ships. But remember, Restoration does nullify this if he can manage to do so. So we'll see what happens. These boats still just getting re-healed back up. So this is perfect for SunTzu. He's happily moving out, getting chip damage, running back. We do see yet again nice micro from Brickhead, pulling these boats back in. SunTzu not doing so. He does manage to get a couple of ships back here, keeping them alive. He does get 1 trireme pick off. That's huge. The first blood has been drawn. If you don't count the bolt, second blood being drawn. SunTzu does look like he's in a really good position here to take this fight if he just continues to be microing correctly. Restoration here for Brickhead going to give him a huge advantage, and SunTzu going to have to retreat here, going underneath his docks. He's got 13 longboats to the 11 trireme though, so a huge advantage for him if he can keep some of these really low HP longboats alive. But Brickhead can easily just pick them off if he micros a little bit of that focus fire. Look at those low HP longboats in the back, and SunTzu is going to be absolutely hurting here if he doesn't sit under these docks. We've even seen the troll coming in, trying to help out, sitting on this shore. The trireme sitting in here, picking off ships left, right, and center. Going to be doing some real big damage onto this location. Now the triremes have a huge advantage here, as Brickhead has pushed SunTzu back, but the docks helping out quite a bit. Got to sit under the docks, keep fighting, but it does look like 14 ships here to 9. So a small advantage of 5 ships for Brickhead does skew those docks out of favor in this fight. If he was like 11 ships to 9 ships or something, the docks would kind of make it an okay fight, but a little bit too low on the boat production here. Looking like the wood's expired as well for SunTzu, as opposed to Brickhead, who's still got quite a bit of wood left here himself, and he has to move on to different locations with his villages where Brickhead is not. So he's actually getting some idle dock time here as well. But still fighting, still a lot of low HP ships here sitting underneath the healing spring, trying to get a little bit of extra HP in this fight, picking off fishing ships in the back as well. And it's looking like SunTzu still fighting here. But these docks, they're not doing anything. You need to be under the docks here. Need to be under the docks, but he's just not doing it just yet. And he's still trying to fight with the not the numbers advantage, and Brickhead is able to take this water situation here fairly convincingly, but SunTzu's still trying to fight. He can go for a little bit of a runaround here with the longboats, but the trireme do chase them quite nicely, quite well, and these trireme just do too much damage at this point. And the longboats do fall. Such is life. And that looks like Brickhead has managed to take this water. But SunTzu, you can't keep fighting like this. Yes, I mean, it's 9 minutes and 30 seconds into the game. It's probably fine to just give up on it. You've got this Auroch here. You've got berries. You've got Auroch over here. You've got enough hunt to transition into the Herso. But he's not He's not doing it. He has cut. No, he's still producing longboats. He's going to be producing them into the docks as well. If you do this, you really set yourself very far behind if you don't win it. Or even if you do win it, it's still a tough time. And we even probably seeing a town center fairly soon. There's a longhouse coming up for SunTzu. And those longboats have been stopped here. So well played by Brickhead to take the water. And such is it. There's the longhouse coming up for SunTzu. A couple of villagers have come over onto this hunt here. We see a lot of wood in the bank for SunTzu. He needs to think about just transitioning all of these wood villagers over onto hunt or onto farms and then spamming out the Herser, getting to the next age. We do see an attempted third dock coming up here for SunTzu. Brickhead not paying attention to it, and it looks like this dock will cheekily come up. Losing this dock now, though, as one of these longboats does pop out. We do see the longboats chasing around, trying to get a couple of raids here onto the fishing ship. Villagers do come onto this Orok now, and the villagers, well, not the villagers, I thought that was just villagers. He's made Military Academy 2 archery ranges, moving these villagers over onto the town center, looking to go up to 2 town centers here and continue in this game. Does he have Persine? He does have Persine now. The food income for Brickhead is going to be absolutely huge for SunTzu. Sorry, for Brickhead with that Persine and all of those fishing ships. But he needs to put more... I've been seeing this quite a bit. There's the fishing ships starting to come out for Brickhead. I've been seeing people... I don't know if it's meta or something to delay the fishing ships just in case there's longboats or something inside of these docks. But I swear, people just delay fishing ships for so long on Mediterranean. Obviously, they need to get their second town centers up. But that extra fish economy is really key. And the whole reason you fight for it. And now the Minotaur coming in. Odysseus Jason here as well. Brickhead puts up his settlement over here. Absolutely huge for him. And he's got a huge advantage here. However, SunTzu will be attempting to get to the next age here. You can see he's got his armory up. The dwarves are over here on this gold mine. He may have to consider going onto this gold mine with some more units as well. But not happening just yet, as the units are going to start streaming in here for Brickhead, who's going to move forward and potentially try and take this town center as well for him. That's incredibly greedy. However, we'll give him a very, very strong chance here to win this game if he can grab that town center. That does force SunTzu to split the map down this way if he wants to grab this town center instead. Grabbing this storehouse, going to be going for a forward, well, at least grabbing the wood here. And now the Herser chilling over here, 7 Herser here. They do have Hall of Thanes, so they are very, very strong. Doxotes coming in. Jason Odysseus chilling here, just going to be retreating back over to this trireme situation here. Taking his time, no need to pressure. We do see so many Herser getting built, so you know that no heroic age is coming out just yet. But as I say that, heroic age is on the way as that third town center is coming through. The villagers moving forward here for SunTzu. Brickhead will spot that. He's moving his Toxotes over here. The villagers already onto this town center, and those Toxotes will start laying siege onto those villages. The Herser are coming over saying, "G'day, I want to play here too," and possibly going to force these Toxotes back. The Herser are fast enough to dodge those projectiles, so they can just move back and forth, and until they feel like now the Gatherer is coming back in here as well. And looks like their town center for Brickhead is up. And we do see a stray Herser does get picked off. However, we've got 12 Herser or something. So SunTzu is going to have some sort of play here with the flame weapons. However, there's a really strong retreat point here for Brickhead to run into. He's got all of these trireme that he can just defend under. The Herser running straight through here, going to be basically running for this town center or for the home town center. We see 4th town center, the absolute greed of Brickhead, grabbing that one there. And the Herser are looking for something to raid here as all of the units moving into the base of SunTzu. He could just take out these houses. Would be a really, really strong idea whenever you see your opponent going to the heroic age. Picking off their houses during the flaming weapons is incredibly intelligent because it means that no myth units can be spawned. However, the Hersa are here. We see a market up for SunTzu as well. Trireme coming over here to help out, and the Hersa immediately retreating away. This match is far from over as SunTzu has found the gold economy of Brickhead, who is not retreating or noticing this at all, but apparently neither is SunTzu, but he does turn around onto it. Going to be hitting these gold villages here. No attempted ghost buildings. The army of Brickhead coming in to defend this one while this is happening, and he will be able to push these Hersa away for the time being. They do have the speed to run, or we could just flaming weapons here. Wouldn't be a terrible idea either. However, a lot of the stray Hersa units over here not going to be able to do the damage, so SunTzu not going for it just yet. There's the flaming weapons. So very, very late. He's only got 4 Hersa remaining. There is a battle boar spawn here, but these Hersa are going to be falling. That's a terrible idea there by Brickhead or by SunTzu. Now SunTzu's losing his economy over here to the raids of Brickhead. Going to be getting this town center getting taken down by those 8 Hersa plus the battle boar. Will he get some myth unit spawns here is the question. This battle boar doing a lot of damage to these units, managing to stay away from that Jason, getting a lot of splash damage done with that special. The town center does fall, but so does this top location, or at least it gets actually defended with that flaming weapon. So nice play from SunTzu. He's going to be able to start spamming those battle boar out. He's got 82 favor in the bag, takes the town center down, going to be rebuilding it for himself. Like I said, splitting the map down the middle here like this instead of from east to west. We are going south, southeast to northwest. And there's the Apollo for Brickhead. So huge economy for Brickhead right now. The Manticore going to come in and try and pick off this battle ball. We do see an underworld here coming onto this location, hitting this gold mine. That is I would have preferred to see it right on top of it, but now the hoplites coming in. SunTzu not paying attention here. He will be losing this entire location of villages to the hoplites. Still not retreating. This is absolutely huge right now. We see some battle ball plus a mountain giant onto this location. Now the dwarves all falling to this raid because SunTzu is too busy focusing on other locations. Finally retreating these villages, but way too late, losing so many of them, and this is going to be absolutely huge. The mountain giant does manage to come around here, but Odysseus sitting at 99%. Heracles on the way. We just need to get some units out here. The Hersa onto the wood line of Brickhead. While this is all going on, Brickhead does notice that one, going to be retreating it away. However, a Valkyrie spawned for him in this corner. Still, the Odysseus chilling in that town center, not getting created there. Going after the market to stop any sort of trading here. Going to be jumping into that underworld passage there to come in and try and deflect this raid here. The town center will fall over Brickhead while this is all going on. We do see a single Odysseus is out. Heracles is on the way, but I do not think that the villagers can repair this one fast enough. The mountain giant special does clean that town center up, and now Brickhead's forward base has been taken down to 2 town centers apiece here. They got the hoplite going after some house raiding here. Very, very smart to go for that house raiding against Loki. As we've discussed before, if you are at pop cap, you cannot spawn any more myth units. Now we see the the mountain giant plus the battle boars making their way over onto this town center. Fortified town centers has come through here, and there's enough siege units here to take this town center down, as well as Brickhead just seems to be absolutely crumbling to this crazy pressure that SunTzu is asserting onto Brickhead's economy and onto his town centers. We do see that Brickhead is getting some value with his units up in SunTzu's base, but it looks like he just doesn't have the population, or he's just invested too much population into those Toxotes. We see Heracles finally going to be coming out here if he isn't at pop cap, but he is 99%. He needs to get the Heracles out. He does not get it out. That's the second time we've seen a hero at 99% with myth units galore next to the town center. You cannot have that at all. We can still see that this underworld passage can be used for Brickhead to grab this town center if he wants. He still has a huge amount of economy here. We checked that out. Well, actually, he doesn't have a huge amount of economy. He's actually really struggling, sitting at 120 pop with only 300 food, 400 gold. Going to be getting this town center back up. We do see, we should be seeing a little bit of a raid onto this gold mine again. We see some Toxotes hitting villages of SunTzu here, as SunTzu doesn't even care. He's just moving through the base of Brickhead with this just gigantic force of Hersa and Myth units here. That Mountain Giant coming in so clutch here. And we do see a small attack onto this town center. Those infantry units need to be attacking this town center. They do a lot of damage, but they get picked off very, very fast. Still raiding up here, getting picked off. Those units do fall. We get a Frost Giant spawn as well, as we're seeing everything under the sun right now for SunTzu here, as he is just delivering a steady dose of myth unit carnage to Brickhead, who is just like, I can't do anything. But he does get his town center back up, going to give him that population back that he needs. And now the Hypaspis are out. The heavy Hypaspis shut down these Hersa so very, very well. Heracles is finally out, and he will destroy these myth units so very fast. But the Hersa doing a lot of damage to them. And now the Odysseus trying to take down the battle ball. He doesn't manage to do so, but the Hersa doing a lot of damage to this Heracles. He's so expensive, but you need to use it to kill these myth units. And now the army has been picked off. The town center does fall. House coming back up for SunTzu, still mining away at this gold mine. But we have a lot of idle units in the base here for SunTzu, who can simply grab this town center, and he's actually not in the worst position here. He can still continue to function. We see a bunch of triremes still alive here for Brickhead. Does he have Salt Amphora? He does have Salt Amphora, so he's going to get a lot of food regardless of the economic pressure that SunTzu is putting onto him. Now, where does Brickhead go? I would have liked to have seen him just jump into the underworld passage here, go for the main base, go for these farms where SunTzu is set up, because that would be an end to the Hersa production. See Jason popping out here to try and defend this location here. Battle ball, too thick boys to fit through this small gap here. They are too thick. And we do see these. We got the Hypaspis coming in. There is a battle ball here, which can help win this fight. But if the Hypaspis just manage to get onto those infantry units, he will be able to deal with this quite nicely. But without any myth units or any heroes over here, it will be tough to pick off that battle ball there. Now Heracles, Jason on top of this battle ball. They deal so much damage to these units, but they have so much HP, so much armor as well, so it does take a while here. Still surprised to see that Brickhead not just going to go and try and steal this town center. However, SunTzu is out of gold right now. He doesn't have a market down. He can't trade. He can't produce anything. 74 population left in the chambers here for SunTzu, who is still trying to make something happen in the hoplite, able to pick off this battle ball. Eventually, he's taken 4 damage and attack here. Just an absolute tank of a unit this battle ball is. And now the town center can get taken down by these 5 hoplite if they simply just click on that town center with only 1,000 HP left. Now Brickhead in the base of SunTzu, ready to start taking down the hometown center here. We do see that the Frost Giant helping out quite a bit there to slow down the Hypaspis, but the Heracles turns around onto this Frost Giant to pick him off. Nice micro from SunTzu to pull him back. Now villagers moving over onto this location. Already Toxotes are here to deflect them, so there's not going to be any gold in that location there for SunTzu to gather from. Now this is just a waiting game. Can Brickhead pick off these units? He has. Also, can SunTzu pick off these units, or Brickhead pick off these units and win the game? Or can SunTzu manage to deflect enough to be able to grab this town center? And Oxcart falls as well. Town center fallen over here. Gold mine denied. And this looks like it's going to be game here. We do see a desperation raid onto this gold mine over here. The villagers can simply just turn around. However, the Hersa may get a lucky myth unit spawn. Any one of them. Mountain Giant, Troll. Well, there is the Troll here, going to force Brickhead away. Really nice play. However, SunTzu in this moment does decide it is completely lost. He cannot find any gold and does decide to tap out. GG. Well played by Brickhead, managing to take this Mediterranean game, but SunTzu making it a very interesting game here with that early Mythic Age. Heroic Age. I just wish that he would have waited or used the Flaming Weapons earlier when he had 8 Hersa here instead of 4. He could have gotten a Myth unit spawn or 2 in this location and completely shut down the gold economy for Brickhead for quite some time. following up with picking off this town center a little bit later. It's not like he needed the flaming weapons longer than 30 seconds on this town center. He could have just waited on that or ran to it just as the flaming weapons happened, but he was just a little bit greedy, holding on to the flaming weapons, trying to get more value out of it, but it just could not happen. And Brickhead does manage to take this game, leveling this series 1-1. We'll move on to game number 3 very shortly. If you are enjoying these games, please consider hitting the follow button on the Twitch. If you're on the YouTubes, hit that subscribe button. It really helps out with the YouTube algorithm and all the other cool stuff. And I'll see you guys in the next game.